Hey, welcome back. Good to see you again. Hope you're all well. Thanks for joining the channel. Today on the bench I got a Kenwood stereo synthesized tuner, KT-57. This is going to be a quick one. And the story behind this is I had it in my inventory. Had one of my friends, clients, come up to me and say, I need an FM tuner. What do you have? So I sent him a picture or email with about 5 to choose from. And the one he really wanted wouldn't fit in his cabinet, so he opted to do this one. This is just a cheap, run-of-the-mill Kenwood tuner. Does the basics. It's got presets, digital tuning, AM, FM. Pretty unexciting, not much to it. So he just wants something he can pick up FM. I don't think he was looking for anything that was top-end or ultra fidelity or anything like that. But this one came out of the stockpile, and we're going to just basically refurb it. We're going to put all new caps. We're going to make sure the alignment's all good and clean it up. But I'm looking at the top of this thing. Looks like somebody used it for spray painting or something. See how filthy that is? Let's see if it cleans up first. I don't even know if this will clean up. We might have to do something different if it doesn't. Looks like somebody was painting on here. Yeah, just as I thought. Look at that mess. I wonder if I can find a solvent that will get through this. Let's try some alcohol first. Always try alcohol first. Let's get a little bit of a rag here. Just want to try a little spot. I don't think it's going to touch it. It's taking something off. It took something off, but not what we needed. Oh boy, let me try another cleaner. This here is one of my favorite cleaners for cleaning stereo tops, especially the vinyl wrapped ones. This really works good on the vinyl wrapped ones. You don't want to get this on aluminum, but the vinyl wrap. Let's see what this does. Might not do anything. If I scratch into it, it comes out. This one might work, but I might need a brush. Something to scrub with. Like this, a little brush. I'm going to try a little spot here. Okay, let's wipe this off. And that actually worked. So I'm going to do the whole thing with this, and we'll get it looking good. Okay, after a quick scrub in the sink with the Spray 9, and it has come out quite a bit better. You can see it. There's still a mark there you can see, and there's still a shadow of something. If I kept scrubbing it, it's going to come clean. I'm just going to leave it like that for now. It's going to be inside a cabinet too, so you won't see the top. But yeah, I think it's improved quite a bit. So let's have a look at this thing. Pretty typical for tuners. A one board solution. Power supply here. This has a 120 volts coming in, which goes directly to the power transformer. No switch. This is always powered on. So looks like right here is our power supply, and looks like there's some cooked resistors, or they're starting to cook. There's a transistor here, probably a little bit of regulation. Here's a power transistor. A few caps. They're probably getting pretty tired. So yeah, I'm going to go through and replace all the caps just to make it sure it's 100%. And if there's any alignment we can do, we'll do that as well. It doesn't look like there's many alignment points on this thing. There's here. There's a few here. And that's it, pretty much. Multiplex. We got a Sanyo LA 1265, AN 7470. Matsushita Sony chip here is a 7925B, and then it's got an NEC chip for running the digital display and the memory tuning. Alright, so I'm going to take out the main board. There's not much to it. Let's see here, the vacuum fluorescent display. Let's test this out. I haven't tested it yet, so let's plug it in. Okay, so we're plugged in. It's drawing 3.5 watts. And it's shut off, I believe. Let's turn it on. We got our display. Power consumption jumps up to 5.3 watts. And we're at AM, FM. So, looks like everything's working. Tuning's working. AM, tuning, yeah. We're going to be okay with this, I think. It just needs a recap and cleaning up, and just to fine-tune the alignment, if there is any, we can do. And yeah, it's finding a new home for its use. So I confirmed a lot of these capacitors around this area here are all cooked. They have a double, triple ESR. They've been baked for so long. Problem is, when you have a piece of equipment with no power switch, you plug it in and you let it sit 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, turned on. This is always powered up, and it's always to a degree warm. You saw when it was sitting turned off, it was 3.5 watts or something like that, and then when I turned it on, it jumped up by about 2 watts, which tells me you know, this is always warm. These two resistors here are 1 watt resistors. I'm going to upgrade these two as well. I'm going to put maybe a 2 watt resistor in here, or a 3 watt if I can find them, and help keep these cooler. Could even put a little bit of aluminum on this transistor just to keep that cool. Not that it's necessary. You know, this tuner is 1980s vintage. And it was probably in service for many years before it got pulled out. So I think if we just upgrade all the caps to 105C in this area especially, and for the rest of it we can do 105 as well, and maybe replace these resistors with something higher wattage, higher off the board. Maybe we can keep this area cooler and make it last longer, and it should be good for another 40 years. So I'll get busy doing recap. There's quite a few here. Well, maybe not many, 25 or so. I didn't count them, but let's see. This area here, board's laid out. It says power supply here, and then here it's control. This is all control. A few caps there. This big cap here is probably the memory retention cap. That is a 2200. Can't see it. 2200 at 6.3. So that cap only keeps the memory alive in this chip. So we can replace that one as well. We can even upsize that if we want to keep the memory retention thing going. The bulk power supply cap on the power supply here is 25 volts. 1000 microfarad. We could even do something with that as well. Bottom of the board looks good. I don't see any cracks at this moment, but then there's a lot to look at. This area where the heat is seems okay. This power transistor seems okay. Everything looks good on the bottom as far as joints. So I'm just going to get started on recapping, and then I'll bring you back in. Okay, I've done the recap, and I replaced 31 capacitors. There's 2 I left. This one here is a 10 microfarad, I think. What is this? No. What is it again? It's a bipolar capacitor, 10 microfarad, 50 volt. And then this one is a 10 microfarad, 25 volt. I don't know why they're using This one is a ground cap, so it connects between chassis and the case here. And this one here, I'm not sure. It might be something to do with the fluorescent display. So half of these are dead. Well, not dead, but they failed. 50% of them approximately. And what I mean by failed is they're 15-20% out of tolerance on the value, and 2 or 3 times on the ESR. So you know, all of these are good quality Elna caps, but they're 35 years old. 1988 date code, so that puts this at 36 years old. So these Elna caps are at the end of their life. They're gone. Alright, so all new caps. Resoldered the input-output connectors. Resoldered the vacuum fluorescent display. There were some cracks on that. I still need to clean the board and inspect it. And then I think we can put it back in. Replaced a couple resistors here from 1 watt to 2 watt, and this one's a 3 watt. Pretty much it. Everything else is going good. Didn't find anything else yet. So, like I said, I'm going to clean the back and reinstall it in the case. And the power comes in on this cord, and it goes in and it connects against these 2 unswitched outlets. And then it continues to the printed circuit board here, which the only reason it comes to this board is to connect with this 2.2 megohm resistor. This 2.2 megohm resistor is between the line and the metal case, and that's a safety requirement, I guess. So that's what they're doing there. Otherwise I would just eliminate this connection on this board and make it that much safer. But if you look at this, power comes in on this red and white wire and goes to here and here, and then it flows over to the transformer. Transformer probably has an internal thermal fuse, or thermal fuse, but there's no external fuse whatsoever. So if, let's say for example, if our secondary shorts out, this cap or these diodes or anything in this power supply shorts out, there's nothing to limit the current here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a fuse to this board. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up here. Let's get a little bit of solder on the pads I'm going to solder to. And I'm going to use a 1 amp fuse. This is a 1 amp surface mount fuse. Well, you can't read it, it's pretty small. But it does say 1 amp. So I'm just going to tack this in place here across these 2 traces. So if I can get this in position. I could solder it down. Okay, let's try this side. Ouch, that's hot. Okay, let's flow this better. Flow this side. Flow this side. Okay, so our fuse is installed. So all we got to do now is remove this red wire and move it over here. Where is it? Where's the hole? There it is. Solder this. Okay. So we now have the red wire coming in, goes to this trace, goes down and up through the fuse to the transformer. Before it just went to this trace, down, across, and up to the transformer. So we got our fuse and circuit now. Alright, so let's use this freshly refurbished HK350 to help us out here on our mission of finding out if our tuner is working properly, first of all. Second of all, does it need alignment? So let's see how it behaves. I don't think it will need alignment. These digital tuners are pretty robust in that they don't go out of whack too much. Everything's confined. All the circuits are confined to these chips and the support circuitry around them. It's all got brand new caps, so everything should be 100% here. So let's try this out on this. Okay. Audio auxiliary. Let's turn the tuner on. Let me reposition the camera so you can see what's going on here. Okay, now I got the lid off and I'm getting quite a bit of noise. Turn the lights off. There's so much interference. And plus I have the lid off too, so it's going to take in a lot of interference here. So let's scan through the band. I'm still getting a... Maybe if I put the lid on. Let me put the lid on. That should help with noise. Okay. It is working quite well. Let's see here, what is going on? Let me try that.
Only problem, your smart speaker's not gonna like playing.
Gotta be careful, copyright here. Seems we're getting a lot of stereo noise, separation noise. Okay. Another problem with this thing is it has no signal strength meter, so you can't really tell. It just picks up stations, and it doesn't tell you if they're strong ones or weak ones or whatever. This one's actually fairly weak station in my area, but it's picking it up really well, and you can tell just by the lack of background noise. And this one has a lot of background noise, but that's, I don't have a proper antenna hooked up, so that's probably the reason why.
Yes, we are more careful now.
Here's another weak one in my area, but it's coming in fairly good. And we're going to start getting into the stronger stations here. I think it's performing excellent. Okay, I don't think any alignment is going to fix anything that's wrong with this. There's really nothing going on here. AM, we don't have an antenna, so we can't really scan the band there. And if you want AM reception, you have to get a loop antenna connected to the rear. So yeah, there's nothing here. Let me try connecting a long wire.
KT-57 Radio 1.
Let me try something here. Yeah, there's no station there, it's just picking up noise. The AM band here is very noisy above 1 megahertz.
Here, where a proposal for a 2-month
Yeah,
fire in Gaza.
and that whistle sound on the background too. I'm going to give the AM a check because I don't know if the AM is actually working that great. Let me connect the proper antenna and then I'll test it again. Okay, here we go again. We have I got a loop antenna connected to the input on the back. Let's have a listen here from the beginning of the band.
Expert or novice, green thumb.
Frankly,
Yeah, now we're getting all the stations.
Wait until Tuesday night to try and
constantly bearing fruit.
Yeah, everything's there now. I think there was one at 1440, but we missed it. Let me see if I can. Yeah, it's buried in the noise. And then that's it for the band. We don't have much on the top end, but it seems to be working pretty good. So I'm going to leave it alone. I think it's working fine. So I think this one's ready to go, and I think that's as far as I'll take it. So thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Thanks.